All right, how's it going, everyone? I have Toni here, and she's one of my clients who's doing really well in my program, and she's here to tell us a little bit of what she's experienced and how she's doing. Okay, Toni, just tell us about yourself. You don't have to go into too much detail, but let us know who you are and what you do.
Okay. I'm 47 years old. I'm a mom of 4 and 2 grandkids, and I'm a cook, amongst other things, but that's
Hmm.
my main job.
Well, you do, you do a lot of baking too, which I've
Yeah,
had some of that, and it's very good.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I enjoy that. I mean, cooking is something I really like. Baking I like more, but
Hmm.
I, not too many jobs just to bake. So,
Right, right, absolutely. I know. So tell us, what struggles you had before joining the program.
I really struggled with yo-yo dieting. I was tried just about everything. Pills, any diet you can imagine, meal supplements. I always could lose the weight initially, but I couldn't keep it off.
Hmm.
And I really have a love-hate relationship with the scale. So
Yeah, I
that's my
know.
biggest struggle.
Yeah, and we're working
And
on that.
patience.
Right, and patience, and we're working on all those.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes. And I'm getting better at the
you
patience
are. You are.
slowly.
Yes,
The
it's
scale
something.
still
No, I know. Everybody.
not
I mean,
something I like. But
right. Everybody thinks that the scale is the indicator. That's the main
yeah,
indicator of where you're at, and really we can't focus on that scale.
right.
It's there's
And
so much other things. Yeah.
I'm really trying to not do that because I'm noticing other changes which are good. So I try to avoid the scale.
Hmm. Right. So you mentioned other changes. So what are those changes?
Um, my clothes fit different. I feel stronger. Um, I have a lot more energy. I feel better about myself.
Hmm.
So they're all good things
Yeah, they're
that
all
are
good things.
happening.
Yeah.
So
Right. And that's where, like I said, the scale really doesn't show all the time what progress you're making,
right.
because you said your clothes are fitting differently, because I know your measurements are have changed,
Yeah.
and so your body is changing its structure and its shape, and so yeah, you're seeing the results, but maybe not so much on the scale, which is fine, because it's all those other things
Right.
that are important. um, so with that being said, you mentioned you feel good, and I know probably you feel physically good,
Yeah.
but what about other things like your mental, emotional?
That has improved a lot. And that's sort of what attracted me to you.
Hmm.
Because you weren't so focused on macros and nutrients and you have to do this weight program or this exercise program. It was more making people realize your mindset's a big thing, which was a big thing with me. And I didn't know if it was going to change. And in the beginning, I didn't really trust it.
Hmm.
But once it clicked, it really clicked.
Yeah,
So I can tell a big difference in that.
yeah, and so can I. And what a change it has been from day
Yeah.
one. And I know you were struggling in the beginning, and we talked about the trusting that going
Yeah.
forward, and it seemed like it was like one day, overnight,
Yeah.
the that switch just flipped, and you were.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I am a very much a people person. I like to please everybody. I don't like to say no. I'm getting better at saying no at things,
Hmm.
except to you. But I understand that. So it has, I mean, some people might not like the change that I've made, but I'm happier with the change.
Right.
So,
Yeah, and that's who is the most important. Who
right.
needs to be happy
And
with
I'm
the change?
learning
You.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nobody else needs to. It's they'll benefit from the change, but if
Right.
they don't like it, it's really it's all about what you feel, and if you feel great and you feel happier and healthier, that's all that matters.
Right. Okay. And I'm learning that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you already answered my next question was what attracted you to the program. So thank you for that.
Yep.
So and also what has changed since being in the program. So, we've kind of touched on that. Anything else you can add, to what has changed?
Um, no, just that mindset really does play a big part in it more than the scale.
Hmm.
And that's something, like I said, I'm working on really hard because so long, I mean, probably 35 years I've struggled with this.
Hmm.
So,
Right.
it's never too late to figure it out. And that's what
Mhm.
I'm learning.
Right.
Because
No, it
I
is.
just figured I was just always going to be on this roller coaster of up and down, up and down.
No, no, and there's no need to
So,
be. And the fitness industry has changed so much where they're promoting all these quick fix and fad diets that
right,
are causing people to yo-yo, like you said, and you get frustrated, and like you said, you almost give up and say, well, this is the way it's always going to be, and I just have to accept it because what is the alternative?
right.
And and like you said before too, it's not all about the macros and the exercise and meal plan and all of that. It's the mindset, because if you can't get all of that, those past experiences that brought you to who you are right now, like you said, people pleaser and not doing for yourself, doing for everyone else, and you know not just sacrificing your life's purpose and your happiness basically, and allowing others to control that and take the power away
Yeah,
from you. And once you can realize that, you become aware of that, then now you can start making change, and you
right.
take action. And once then you start to change those limiting beliefs and those feelings of maybe unworthiness or self-doubt, that I can't do this, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this because I've my past experiences were, like you said, always
Yeah,
up and down, yo-yoing. So once you do figure all that out, then everything else kind of falls into place, and
right.
those things become easier. So the weight loss and everything become easier because now you're happier with yourself. You love yourself. You have more joy. You have your purpose back. You have your power back, and like you said, you can say no, and
Right.
to things that you would rather
Normally
not
just do.
do. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's great, and I'm so proud of the change that you've made so far and how far you've come, because you have come, it's like 180 degrees in the mindset
Yeah.
aspect of it.
It really has. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So how do you feel now, like moving forward in the program, as we're moving along?
Good. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's impossible anymore to get where I want to be, and
Hmm.
I am learning to take time for myself, and I do fairly, I mean, I eat good, I don't think I make bad
Yeah.
food choices or anything. It's just I think I was so focused on I needed to eat this, I needed to do that, and everything would just fall off basically, but that
Hmm.
doesn't work. So now that I think my mindset's a little better, I think I can get over the next hurdle instead of just quitting
Hmm.
like I normally would. So,
Right. Yeah. So explain some of the things that you're doing now that you weren't doing for yourself before.
um, pretty much changed 180 degrees, like you said. I mean,
Hmm.
I never did anything for myself. If one of my kids needed a haircut, okay, I'd squeeze in a haircut with them. If one of my girlfriends was going to get her nails done, if I didn't think it would shift too much of my schedule, I would go with her, but I would never actually make myself an appointment for
Hmm.
anything to just go do something for me. If somebody invited me on a hike or a walk, I'd go, but I wouldn't take time out of the day because I always felt like If I took time for myself, I was taking away from somebody else.
Mm.
And like I said, I had 4 kids, my grandkids, you know, my husband, anybody, my friends, I'd sacrifice myself for them, basically, is what I've always done. And now in the last couple weeks, I've got my hair done. I've went and got my nails done. I've sat and watched Netflix shows when I probably should have done laundry, but
Mhm.
you know, nobody's going to die if I don't do something right this minute. And I'm
Yeah.
trying hard to learn that.
Right. So
So,
so
I'd get up 2 hours early to exercise. If I want to sleep in an hour and it's still earlier than everybody else, I'm trying to do it, because so what if I exercise 15 minutes into the next block of whatever I was going to do? The world's not stopping.
right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
and
So,
that's hard for me
mhm.
because, I mean, if I had a hair appointment tomorrow and my friend called and said, could you babysit? I would say, absolutely, I have no plans. Now, the last couple weeks they asked me and I'm like, nope, sorry. If you can reschedule into my empty spots, I'll help you.
Right.
But I'm trying hard not to rearrange
Hmm.
time for me.
Right. Yeah.
So,
It's those boundaries,
yeah,
having those boundaries, and there are times when, maybe because you
you
do
have to.
take care of
Yeah,
yourself, right, that you maybe you do make an exception, say, well, no, okay, I can do that
yeah,
for you, because you're already, if would you agree that, when you do something for yourself and you fill up your cup
right.
and you're fulfilled, that you're able to then be able to do other things for others,
Yeah,
where, because now you're not feeling like you're taking away from yourself, because you've already taken care of you. So now you
yeah.
can take care of others. But when you're not taking care of you and you're giving from an empty cup, that's when
It's
that
very depressing
right.
because I feel like I'm making everybody else's life easier and happier in sacrificing my own.
Hmm.
And I didn't even realize I was doing it as much as I was.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And what brought that revelation?
you and your book selection.
Well, yeah. Yeah, because
uh, you know,
there's some of those resources, yeah, and
yeah.
yeah, and discussing those, right? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just feeling like I can talk about it and not be judged.
Right.
That there are other people are thinking the same way I am.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we have always think that we're the only ones,
Yeah.
and
And
we don't.
that's me. Like, people are always saying you're too nice to everybody. Nobody, like nobody ever does anything for you, or you never do anything for yourself. But I've become accustomed to that. And like you said, I'm not going to stop doing for other people because that's me,
Yeah.
but I need to put me time in among everybody else's
Right.
time.
Right.
So,
And that's important. Yeah. We're not saying that, oh no, you don't do anything for anybody anymore.
right,
It's making sure that you put time in for yourself so that you can feel good and have more energy to give to others. So
right,
yeah. So if you're a giving person, yeah, that's great. Continue to be
right.
a giving person, but give to yourself first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm learning that.
You are. You are. You're doing great. Like I said, I'm extremely proud of, you
Mhm.
know, what you're doing right now and how you're taking care of yourself. And it's really great to see that growth that you've had.
Yeah.
And what would you tell someone who's on the fence about joining my program?
I guess my biggest thing is, don't look at it as how much money you're spending. Look at it more as you're investing in yourself and your happiness. Um, who can really put a cost on being healthy, happy,
Mhm.
you know?
Right.
Um, if you don't spend the money on this, you're going to spend it on something. If you don't have the money, you're going to find the money to make yourself feel better. It's like anything else that you want. If you want it bad enough, you make it work.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, and it is worth it. Like I said, I questioned at first. I thought, is this just going to end up being like everything else? And like I said, it has changed me totally, and I hope I never go back.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, no, that's great. So, and I think you mentioned a little bit earlier, like you just said, that it's not like anything else.
yeah.
So, what would you say that, makes it different from other programs?
Most programs I was on, you either got basically like a cookie cutter plan. They gave it to everybody. They didn't take into consideration you. It was how much you weighed, whether you were male or female. Usually there was a supplement involved of some sort. There's nothing on this. Um, and it only focused on losing weight in a quick amount of time by basically cutting your macros or what you're eating.
Hmm.
And then as soon as your, let's say, challenge or that period was over, you were done. Like there was no other discussion. There was no discussions at all, really, of everything I've ever done. Or I ordered something off the internet. You got some papers, you got do this at this time and this at this time. And if you had questions, you figured it out yourself,
Hmm. Right.
and like I said, I have, because of all this, focused so much on diet and macros and counting and how much do I weigh on the scale? And I've never had to do measurements. I mean, they do measurements in the beginning, but they never did measurements at the end. So how did I ever know other than if the scale told me I lost weight,
Right. Right.
you know? And the amount of money that I dumped into that and got nothing out of it,
Hmm.
I should have went and bought a new couch.
Right.
I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
you don't think of it at that point because they're promising a quick fix in 6 weeks, 8 weeks. It didn't change anything.
No.
It didn't, yeah, I could follow their deficit of a diet and in 6 weeks lose 20 or 30 pounds, but 6 weeks later, I was 10 pounds up from what I started.
Hmm. Yeah.
There's never, there's never accountability. There's never support during it. Only thing I've learned is if it sounds too good to be true, it is,
Hmm. Right. Right.
you know.
Right. And would you agree that in my program, you do get a lot of support, accountability?
Yes. I mean, with you, I mean, we get a weekly call, but you're always offering more if I need it.
Hmm.
I mean, that's nice. I like that you tell me, don't worry about your diet this week, or don't worry about doing this week, or, you know, go for a walk. Don't, just let your mind go. Nobody has ever told me that before. So,
Right. Because,
you know,
forcing something too,
yeah,
we have bad days. And,
yeah,
and if you try to force it during that day, then you're going to get frustrated, so you might as well
right.
just take a step back and,
Yeah,
not worry about it because, it's more of the, like we talked, the mindset, the mentality, that mental aspect and changing that whole identity of how you believed in the past, what
yeah,
your belief systems were, and changing all that. And so, yeah, so if you have a bad day, don't feel guilty if you can't get a workout in,
right,
or if maybe ate something that wasn't, say, clean or healthy, because
right.
what you want is to have and in the long run, I mean, we want to have um, this lifestyle that
Yeah,
we're not restricting foods that we love, we're not restricting calories, we're enjoying our life. So it's a lifestyle change, not
yeah,
a diet. And
right.
you talked about the investment. People will look at it as a cost, but it's an investment in yourself.
Yeah,
And what I find is, a lot of people, and I've been there myself, is when you've tried all these different things and you're frustrated and nothing worked. And so now you become a little skeptical, okay,
yeah,
well, is this next thing going to work? And what we do is we've tried all these things to try to make us happy, but are we really going to be happy in the end when we get to the result, if we do get it? And so what we end up doing is, like you said, buy a new couch or buy a new TV,
yeah,
because then, oh, that's going to make me feel happy.
right.
So why not use that money for and invest in yourself and invest in a program that's going to give you, you know, like the whole package, the mental,
Satisfaction. Yeah. I mean,
the physical, the mental, the emotional, uh, you know, well-being, to where you're changing your entire life.
right.
Yeah. So Abby, you're doing great.
So,
So would you agree that's where, you know, what we're doing here for you? That you're,
yes,
yeah,
I agree. 110%. Like I said, it's
yeah.
not, I mean, you know, you helped me with all the other stuff, but you made me realize that if I don't have it right up here,
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to get it right. You know, I can count all the macros and all the calories I want, but you know, I'm not going to get anywhere. So,
Right. Yeah. And that's it. You know, it's changing the belief systems, changing the identity, healthy habits,
right.
and you know, changing that mindset really is one of the biggest parts of it. It's really not the meal plan. It's not the
No,
exercise. It's what's up here, and you know, those experiences you've had in the past, and changing how
dealing
you,
with them. Yeah.
right, dealing with them, and changing how you see them, and then how you believe, what you believe in, and those, and how you then go forward from there,
Right.
and
And
develop.
remembering it's the past.
Right.
It's not now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not now. It's the past. So let
Right.
that past go, because now you're
Yeah.
rewriting a new future.
Right.
Absolutely. So no, that's great. I really appreciate you, you know, coming on here today and telling us, you know, your story and how you've and what your experiences were, you know, with the program and are still your experiences going forward. So thank you again, and
You're welcome.
we'll see you on our next call,
All right.
which is after this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, take care, everyone. And if anyone who's watching, if they want to experience the same transformation that Toni has experienced and is still working through and experiencing, please send me a personal message, a DM, and you know, I'll answer any questions. We'll get started. All right. So till next time, take care.